Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into Thailand's complex relationship with cannabis.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
You sent us a whole stack of sources on this,
Yeah.
and it's definitely a topic where the international news, well, it often gives a pretty simplified picture.
That's putting it mildly sometimes.
So our mission today is to, cut through those generalizations. We
Mm.
want to really unpack the complex socio-political reality there,
Mm-hmm.
so you can understand what's actually happening on the ground and maybe what comes next.
Right, beyond the headlines.
We've looked through analyses of proposed rules, some deep historical context, market predictions, even the political angles from your sources. Let's dive in.
Okay.
So, first things first, let's tackle that huge misconception floating around, that proposed ministerial regulation, the one treating cannabis as a controlled herb again.
Yeah, that one's causing a stir.
Well, the key thing is it's just a proposal. It's not law,
Yeah.
not enforced yet.
Exactly, and that's crucial.
And looking at Thai legal history, it seems like similar proposals, well, they've often just been quietly set aside, haven't
They
they?
have the journey from a proposal to actually being published in the official gazette.
Huh.
It's long and very, very political.
Something foreign media often glosses over.
Completely. They often assume proposed equals done, but assuming immediate enforcement, that really misunderstands how things work in the Thai legal system. It's much more dynamic.
Okay, that context is vital. And this proposed shift feels particularly stark when you think about the original decriminalization push.
Mm-hmm.
That had some pretty deep roots, didn't it? Significantly supported by a royal statement from King Rama X, I recall,
Yes, absolutely. He didn't just focus on medical benefits. He specifically highlighted cannabis's thousands of years of, social and cultural history in Thailand.
which gave the whole thing a kind of profound legitimacy, right?
Precisely. And that's what makes the current situation so interesting.
How so?
Well, these new proposed rules from the government, with their really strict medical focus and the limits on recreational use, many see that as a direct deviation from the spirit of that original royal statement.
Ah, so it becomes politically sensitive.
Extremely sensitive. Given the weight that royal wishes carry in Thailand, moving against that grain is, well, a delicate operation.
Right. So let's game this out. If this proposal did actually get enforced, what's the immediate fallout? Especially for those smaller players.
The impact could be severe, really severe. Small and medium-sized growers, they'd be facing huge regulatory hurdles,
Like what?
potentially massive licensing fees, really strict cultivation controls. It looks like it would almost certainly lead to market consolidation.
Squeezing out the little guy, the independent farmers.
That's the fear. Big players might cope, but smallholders could struggle.
But businesses adapt, right? What about the dispensaries we see everywhere now? How would they likely cope?
Well, the most probable tactic we're already seeing hints of is owners getting Thai traditional medicine doctor licenses.
Okay. How does that help?
It lets them issue prescriptions. Think minor things like back pain or a headache for basically every transaction.
Ah, so it creates a sort of de facto regulated market, even for recreational use.
Pretty much. Even for tourists, they might get a prescription that lasts for their whole visa period. It's quite a clever workaround, isn't it?
It certainly sounds like one. Now, thinking bigger picture, the overall market. If these regulations do limit legal supply or drive up costs,
Then prices for the legal stuff could definitely rise, maybe quite a bit.
and that pushes people toward.
Good black market. Demand for high THC cannabis for recreational use, it's strong. It won't just disappear.
So if legal access gets too hard or expensive,
People will look elsewhere. Which then brings up all sorts of issues with quality control, safety, everything we saw before regulation.
right, okay. Now, you mentioned sources touching on unforeseen developments.
Uh-huh.
That sounds dramatic. Are we talking instability?
Well, look, a direct military revolution might be stretching it based on this one issue,
That's right.
but Thai political history does show patterns. Perceived government overreach, a lack of proper consultation, actions that seem inconsistent with national feeling or, crucially, with royal wishes. These things have triggered instability in the past.
So the cannabis issue is more than just policy.
Absolutely. Given the deep cultural roots you mentioned and the economic impact, especially on smaller farmers, it's become a real test, a test of this government's legitimacy, its effectiveness in balancing all these competing interests.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, it seems clear the foreign news, as you said, has probably sensationalized what's still a very uncertain situation.
Definitely.
That document causing all the fuss, still just a proposal, not law.
That's the main takeaway for now. Thailand's path forward will likely involve a lot of that strategic interpretation and adaptation we talked about.
Meaning the industry probably continues, but maybe under a tighter medical guise.
That seems the most probable outcome. The real challenge for them is balancing public health, the economic reality for thousands of people, and the very complex politics around interpreting those royal statements.
Yeah.
It's a tightrope walk.
Indeed. So here's a final thought for you, our listeners, to maybe chew on. Just consider how deeply tangled a nation's cultural heritage, its political dynamics, and its economic hopes can become when dealing with new rules, especially for a plant with a history as long and complicated as cannabis. Keep watching beyond those headlines.